It's Hayley's graduation job. What does that mean? How did she go? Let's find out on episode 227 of Foxy TV. We're heading 40 minutes east to the suburb of Thornlands for the install. Let's chat to Phoebe, the co-owner of Foxy and chief stylist, to provide some context.
All right, guys, so we are on site here in Thornlands. We have a lot of people on site, and when we have a lot of people on site, that generally means I've stuffed up with timeframes and I've forgotten that there's really tight photo deadlines, or we've got a graduation job, and that's what today is. So today is Hayley's graduation job. We have a really big property here, 3 living areas, 5 bedrooms. It is 2 truckloads, which is our, I guess, requirement for it to be a graduation job. I'm here to have a look and see how amazingly Hayley does with her time management, with her communication, with her delegation of staff, all of the other things. I already know she's an amazing stylist. I already know she can do amazing work. I'm looking at everything else that is encapsulated with being an employee here at Foxy. So I want to see how she's holding herself, how she's working between all the different the marketing department we have here, as well as logistic, as well as all the stylists we have on site, and making sure that somebody always has something to do. I think she's going to go fantastically. I can't wait to show you the end result.
So I've got the cocoa tubs going in here with the side table, that console for coming in here. So I've got that one there, and then I've got the TP in there. My plan is to put the sofa there and then occasionals here in the ETU, and I have the sofa here.
Hayley, with both trucks gone, how are you feeling?
Relieved.
Yeah, everything's found its place?
Yes, I'm just kind of doing my final walkthrough, I guess, if I need to tweak any furniture in terms of layout like you just saw. So, yeah, and then I've got Georgia doing art, I've got Sophie doing beds.
Alrighty, we're now fast forwarding a week to once again hear from Phoebe on how Hayley went, and while Phoebe's talking, I'll throw up some footage of the finalised install. Phoebe is then going to go into more detail around what it means to graduate as a stylist here at Foxy, and then have a bit of a discussion around hiring stylists and having stylists at different stages of progression and of the training manual. And stick around to the end of the episode if you're interested in the Foxy training manual, as I have some information to share with you.
It went fantastically. It went very smoothly. Hayley ran the show very well. She did all of her administrative tasks post-install very well. We actually brought in a critical self-analysis. I get a review, critical view, whatever you want to call it, this time for the first time, and she was spot on with her self-review and probably actually even a little bit harsh on herself. So in the end, she graduated. She did very well. Excited to see what comes next for Hayley, but it was actually a year to the day that she started here at Foxy, she graduated. So literal year to the day. So she's very excited for her. So it's actually something that we've only just recently brought in. So I think critical self-reflection is something that's always really important. We do it at the very start when the girls are starting to do their first job. What would they done different? How could they have done better? If they would have done it again, what could they do? Who was awesome on site? Who made their job easier? Who went out of their way to make a difference? Was anything forgotten? Is there anything we could do to the process to make it better next time? So they're the questions that we ask when you're first starting out, but at the very end, there's less of a reflection. So this time, there's certain things I'm looking at, certain elements I'm looking at in the stylist when they're doing their graduation project, but they're not based on the styling job themselves. I already know that they can style. So I'm looking at communication, I'm looking at team management, I'm looking at team communication, I'm looking at if anything goes wrong, how are we going to solve those problems? I'm looking at how well do you know our stock names, because knowing our stock is actually something that's actually going to take a while to learn. So have they gone out of their way to make sure they know exactly what's coming into this property and they know exactly what they're expecting and what room it's going in? And then afterwards, have they done all the right documentation? Because documentation is incredibly important to us to ensure that we know exactly what's here in the warehouse. The stock passes through so many different hands, especially when there's 2 trucks at a job and that many people, so they need to stay across it. So they're the questions Hayley asked herself and reflected on, and then I also came and let her know what I thought about everything, and she was overly harsh on herself, but that's good to see, because somebody who looks through a job that was pretty perfect and can find something that was wrong, I mean, somebody who really cares about the outcome, and people who really care are the people we want on the team. I'll start my description off with something a little bit negative, but then I'll explain it afterwards. So basically, I think I mentioned in a podcast a couple of weeks ago, I heard a presentation from the owner of Avis Car Rentals. And in his presentation, he mentioned that as soon as you start feeling that perfection, everything's going right, everything will go wrong not too far away. And that's a really negative view. I've had all of my eggs in my basket that all of the stylists were going to be trained up and all going to be awesome, and then we had no backup in the background, people coming through the ranks, then That's us kind of not having the buffer there as a business and us sort of setting us up for me to have to go back out and go backwards and all that sort of stuff. The way we think about it, we've got Cassie, who's been here for an extremely long time. She's been here since the first year we started our business, and she's across everything. She's starting to now learn everything that I do so that it's not just me making those cogs turn. Underneath Cassie, we've then got our senior stylist. So we've got Sil in that position. For us, we've sort of started looking at numbers. That person needs to have done at least 300 jobs. They need to have time under their belt with us as a company. They obviously need to have been graduated from our Foxy program for a while, and they need to show that they have management qualities. They need to show that they care about our business and actually are effective communicators and great at leadership. Underneath Sil then sits our signed off stylists. So these are the people who have graduated. So you've got Hayley, we've got Caitlin. Those two stylists have been here for quite some time. They know how we operate. They're signed off. They can do any job that comes our way, but they're not been here, they haven't got the time under their belt as far as being able to have done 300 installs each. They're basically sitting here now perfecting how they work in our team, finding a style that they love, finding things that they love to do, and also finding ways that they can perfect their management and teaching of people, because now they start having the more junior staff come to their installs and they can start passing on their knowledge. Underneath there, you have layers of staff who are going through their training program. So we've got Georgia, who has signed off on all of her modules in her book except her graduation project. So I know that she's awesome at integrateds, and she's fantastic at vacants, has been for a very, very long time. Time efficiencies here in the warehouse are amazing. We are waiting for that nice big job, 2-truck job, to give her the opportunity to show me all those things that I just mentioned that I was watching at Hayley's job. Underneath there, we then ideally we've got Millie. So Millie's now signed off on her vacants, little apartments. She's now going on to her bigger vacant properties, and then we'll start moving into integrated. So she's still learning, but we've got 3 fully signed off staff, well, Georgia, I'm just going to say for the sake of argument, signed off, who can take any job and help her at any job and not have the pressure on her to have to be able to do it. Underneath there, we then have 2 more. So ideally where we would have someone coming through now is somebody would be coming through and learning the lead stylist roles and having the opportunity to take up those small units now that Millie's moved on from. And then we have Ellie, who started with us not all that long ago, who is literally just coming out of her observation period and just starting to learn the ropes, seeing how we do business. You can see the progression up through into signed off stylist. So we always need to have somebody in observation period ready to move up as the others learn and can actually have the skill there to move on.
Thank you, Phoebe, and congratulations to Hayley. Now, throughout the episode, Phoebe made reference to the Foxy Stylist Training Manual. We've actually done a full episode in November 2022 on the training manual, and Phoebe runs through the entire thing, the different modules, the different stages. And Hayley actually features in this video. I think she's had just joined the business a few months prior, so it's great to see her progression. And I'll link to that video, that episode, in the description of this video. Otherwise, that's all I have for you for episode 227. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you back here next week.